Hello beautiful people, my name's Rabea. Wow, I look like Anyway, yes, thank you for watching this video. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for guitar content and all the rest of it. I don't know why I said that, but I've just had a coffee. It was really strong, so I'm caffeinated. Can you tell? Anyway, it's an exciting day. I received a shipment of some very exciting things that I'm going to show you in a second, but I thought I'd give you a little bit of backstory as to why I'm filming this video. Basically, I moved house recently. Part of moving house meant that I had to lose my beloved mix room. I really liked recording, creating and mixing in that old room that you've seen over loads of videos. It was in my attic of my old house. The room itself was a great shape for mixing in, sounded good, it was a lot of fun to work in there, and it was in my home, so I was happy about that. I guess you could say that over the last few years, you know, having it in your home, sometimes it's hard to get the motivation to go and work and do productive stuff and not just mess around, but either way, I loved that room and I had to say goodbye because I've moved house. And at the new house, there isn't a place to mix, there isn't a place to set up for me to have that sort of space anymore. However, as you know, I own this space now, which is my studio, my beloved studio, where I record most of my videos from now. Let me turn on this light. I now have this space, which has drum kit and amplifiers and guitars there somewhere and pedals. And basically it has everything I need to be able to do what I do. And I love it, and I can record here, record songs. We've recorded some of the Totemist in here. I've recorded a couple tracks with Ben in here. We rehearsed with Vower in here, so it's a very, very useful space. But something really cool is in the same building, I now have a second room that I've taken over, and I'm really excited because it's going to be my new mix room. And part of the reason for showing you this video is because I received the final piece of the puzzle for that mix room, which is some new studio monitors. So let me show you the mix room and then we'll unbox the monitors and get them set up and have a listen. But yeah, just wanted to give you a little bit of backstory, so bear with while we move upstairs. Oh God, it's dark in here. Welcome to my new mix room. Basically, this room is serving the same purpose that my old attic room was serving. So I've got my electric kit here. Obviously, I'm gonna have my new monitor set up here with my computer, my monitor and everything like that. And I'm going to be able to mix in here, and when we've been demoing Vower stuff, Joe and I have been doing that in here with the electric kit. When I do like grinding gears style music, I do that with an electric kit, so it's basically going to serve that same purpose that I used to have at home. So the next piece of the puzzle, the final piece, is the monitors. We're going to get that whole thing set up, and we're going to go through the process of how to do that. In these boxes are the new monitors and sub system that I'm going to be using on this old beast. Had this desk quite a long time, and this came from Dave. But yes, basically, we're going to set everything up in here. It's going to sound great. So the next thing I'm going to do is unbox these beautiful boxes. Okay, so we'll start unboxing. And while I'm unboxing, I'll explain to you a little bit about the choice behind this new monitoring setup. Basically, for those of you who've followed my channel for a while, you'll have seen that I always use Neumann monitors. I've had the Neumann KH310s at home. And then I got the KH150s, which I had downstairs in my control room. And those of you with an eagle eye may have noticed that the KH310s are now down there. Because, as I say, this isn't a professional, like fully treated live room control room. And while it's pretty good, there isn't quite the amount of lack of, should I say, bleed that I want in that room. So I needed louder speakers so that I could monitor things when tracking. And it has done the trick. However, the KH150s would not be suitable up here for what I want. And so something that's kind of been occurring to me every time I've visited Finland, visited the guys at Neural, and when I've been to studios where they use Genelec monitoring, I found them to be fantastic for guitar tone. For some reason, I've just had a noticeable difference when it comes to the sound of the guitars through Genelec monitors.
I must admit, actually, using Jenny's for referencing, even though I use Neumann's, these are actually really good.
So that's what I've decided to get. Oh, ho, ho, ho. So the system that I've gone for is the 8341 monitors, 8341A, which have the DSP in them, because what we're going to do is we're going to measure the room with Genelec's measuring system, the GLM system, so that I get a great frequency response from the room. Basically, it saves it does an analysis of the room, and then it saves that to the speaker so that it tunes the speaker for the room that you're mixing in, which is fantastic technology and something that is very, very useful when you're mixing in a studio. Well, any studio, but mainly studios that have been converted from standard rooms. As you can tell, this is not exactly a mix room. Don't you just love unboxing stuff? First things first, the box. Okay, so you've got power cable, which is great. Then you've also got an Ethernet cable, because that's what you connect the measuring system, the GLM system, to, so that you can beam the room profile to, essentially. So this is the Genelec 8341A, or otherwise known as the Ones, which I think is a great name for what they are. They're a completely different design, as you can tell. Normally you have your main speaker cone, a mid-horn, and a tweeter, whereas I believe the tweeter / mid-horn, or whatever it is in the center. I'm not a technician, so forgive me. And then it looks like the woofers are here and here, or just, yeah, it's a completely different design. But I've been told very good things. I decided to get them in the classic Genelec grey cover. It's like a molded metal case. And then on the back, you can see you've got a bunch of stuff to change the way it sounds in the room. But yeah, basically, the 8341, the Ones, are what I've gone for. So this beast is the Genelec 7360 APM7 subwoofer. But I've never used a sub when it's come to mixing, just because I haven't had necessarily the luxury of a space where I could really warrant that. However, when speaking to Mikko, he recommended getting a sub with the system as well. So I'm very excited. It's not to be louder or to have more bass or for it to be like deafening. It's to get an accurate response to the low end, so I don't have to do little tricks and stuff when walking around the room to try and hear what the low end's doing. Like, if any of you guys have ever done that trick where you walk to the back of the room, check the low end's right, move back to the listening position and crack on. That's basically what, you can still do that, but we're going to try get a little bit more of an accurate low end representation just from the listening position. So very excited. It's a very heavy box. Oh God, this thing has been packed very well. It's a good job I bought a vacuum on the Black Friday sales. Got myself a little Dyson beast for the studio. Oh God. Even the box is bassy. There you go. Look at that. It's really heavy. That was tiring. Well, now that I've unboxed the sub and one monitor, I'm going to unbox the next monitor, get them set up in the room, get them passing some audio after I sit down. Wow. Okay, so I've got my monitors set up. As you can see, they're over there. Sub is behind the desk, which is probably where it should be. I've got my trusty friend Nick helping me out here. He's helping with the setup. We're about to do the calibration, which basically involves a piece of software from Genelec called GLM. It comes with a little USB style interface that you connect an Ethernet cable to each component of your system. So it comes out of the box provided, Ethernet to one monitor, to the next one, and to the sub. And then you basically run a piece of software. Let me zoom in so you can have a little ganderino. So that's the software. As you can see, two tops and a sub. And then basically, once you've positioned it and done the measurement of your listening position, there's this little measuring mic here. And then it's going to blast out a load of random sounds and hopefully measure the room. I thought it'd be quite interesting to film this bit. So we just measured the room. So we've got our measurements, we've put them in. And as I say, I reckon there's going to be some weird noises that are about to start. So I guess we'll see what happens. Are you excited?
Very much so.
Okay, measure. Measuring in 5 seconds, stand back. So basically now I can click on each component and it gives me the reading of the room, as you can see. So you should be able to see some screen grabs of the measurements just now, but essentially what you're looking at is the measurement of the frequency response to the speaker in the room, and the red line represents the measurement, the blue line represents the filter sum, I don't know what that means, and then the green line is the corrected, essentially the correction that's happened within the software. So it looks like it's flattened out that bump at around, what would that be, 240?
200, 240, yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a huge loss at around 85, 88 hertz, but I'm assuming that's where the sub takes over.
It'll be the bounce from the speaker to the wall back again.
Ah.
So there'll be a dip from that speaker bounce.
Okay. Ooh, that's the sub. Did you hear that? Oh, that sounds like it's working. Well then, we've set them up. That was quite an experience. Firstly, I can't get over how good they sound. I mean, I knew Genelec monitors sounded good, but when you get them set up in your own space, and this is a fresh space, so I need to get used to it, I need to get used to the way it sounds in the room. But I have to say, with the GLM system that it came with, the setup procedure, everything that had to be done to get them sounding good in the room was super straightforward. You plug everything in, you run the system, run the software, it identifies the speaker, you measure the room, and it goes ahead and just gives you the correction. And it sounds like when we first turned them on, you know, I had a quick listen, you know, things sounded flat and there wasn't really any bass from the sub. I was like, is the sub even on? And then you do the correction, everything, and then it just basically gives you the right level for everything. So the sub, I can now hear and feel the sub, and I can hear and feel everything that I need to, and everything sort of sits right. And, you know, like, I'm really glad that, for example, the Totemis record, listening back to it on the system now, I'm like, okay, I didn't overdo it in the low end because I mixed that without a sub. So it's a really, really nice experience, listening experience. And also I'm just super thankful for this space, having managed to set it up and acoustically treat it as best we can. You know, it's not overly dead in here. There's a nice amount of natural reflection, but not to the point where it's not helpful for listening, but it's dead enough that it does the job. So I think I'm going to really enjoy mixing in here. And once again, a huge thank you to Mikko at Genelec for helping me with this. I'm so grateful, and this is the beginning of a long and harmonious journey. Mixing and writing and producing in this room with this system, I'm so grateful, so thankful. Okay, so I wanted to film this segment after a couple of weeks of having the mix room set up, because I figured it was more important to give you an evaluation of how it's all going after I've had a chance to mix in here and do some stuff. So I've mixed the Grinding Gears record in here just now. I've done a bunch of guitars in here from videos that I've shot, and generally just getting to use this space. First thing I want to say is I am so glad that I made the choice to use Genelec. They sound fantastic, they sound really good. They really work for guitars, as I keep saying. I really enjoy the way guitars sound through them. So if you are in the market and you're a guitar player and you want some new monitors, give Genelec a consideration, just because from my experience, it's really important that you feel like inspired through what you're listening to. And if you're not playing through cabs and you're playing through studio monitors, the cool thing with Genelec, as I say, is they do like small monitors all the way up to like really big pro stuff. So there's a big range, but I do think that they sound really good for guitar. This isn't a sponsored video. This isn't something that I've been told to say or anything like that. Just from experience of using Genelecs over in Neural HQ and then using them here, and also Hannah having a little set of the 8020s, I think it is, the really little ones. Just, they sound full and fat, you know, sound really good for guitars. So I'm happy with that. And also, I feel like it's not going to take that long to get used to the sound of these monitors or this mix room in here, because I've been listening to my mixes on different systems, in my car, at home, and it all sounds accurate how I wanted it to. So I know that, you know, I think I'm already kind of getting used to them quickly. And even this room, you know, it's a different space for me to mix in. And, you know, in a situation where you have to have a room that isn't necessarily built for mixing, like this one, you can do acoustic paneling and all the rest of it. But one thing that I really appreciate with the Genelec stuff is the GLM system, because it allows you to do a evaluation of the room, and it EQs the speakers based on what the room sounds like. And not only that, it saves it to the speakers, so you don't even need to use the software after you've done the first version. I have to say, in this video, I'd done the first measurement wrong, in the sense that the microphone is supposed to be pointing upright and it was pointing into the speakers. However, the results weren't massively different. So just make sure you read the instructions if you're going to use the GLM thing, because I definitely didn't do that. Either way, it was really cool to get the sweep done, redo it, phase align the sub with the tops, and look at the measurements that it had done and see how it sort of counteracts that. And what's really cool is you can set up multiple listening positions. So if I want to sit at the back of the room on the producer couch, I can set up a new measurement for there so that it's accurate to where I'm sat, which I think is fantastic. And you can save them as presets as well. I'm going to do more videos about using the system and how it's working to my advantage with mix breakdowns and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, basically, I just have to give a huge thumbs up to Genelec for, you know, helping me out choosing these speakers, getting them over here, and just, yeah, really chuffed, really chuffed with the sound of the room, really chuffed with the vibe in here. It's a nice vibe to shoot in. Yeah, I'm just very happy. It's interesting having the live room downstairs and the control room where I can, you know, record everything. It's really nice to come up here and basically be able to sit in peaceful environment and mix and use it for writing different kinds of stuff, you know, having all these options. I feel very blessed, very thankful. And, you know, I promise to carry on bringing wicked content and music, most importantly, to you guys on YouTube. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to Genelec for helping me with all this. Thank you guys for watching. And again, if you're a guitar player and you use monitors at home, have a think about some Genelecs. They do a full range, so it's worth checking out. But thank you. Like, subscribe and share. Links in the description box. I've been Rabea, and I'll see you all very soon.